Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. I am slipping in a quick haul video, episode 127. I'm going to apologize if you hear thunder. We've been having this weird thunderstorm that has been some really weird thunder. It sounds like somebody's working in a shop. It's like short thunder, not rolling long thunder like we normally get here. So what I have in front of me here is Volume 1 of the Irojiten dictionary plus the 10 extras. And the first Volume 2 that I got, I paid for it on eBay. It was a really good deal. I'm right now looking at collecting a couple of off the beaten path. I'm done with budget pencils for the moment. And now I would say that I am collecting some of the more collectible type pencils. I do plan on using the pencils, so I don't mind buying used. The different sets that I am looking at are like the Phoenix color, Irojiten, Black Widow. The Black Widow deal was just a great thing that I found at 2:30 in the morning when I couldn't sleep one night, and it was 45 minutes south, and I went down there and picked it up, and so that kind of started the ball rolling. So I've been looking for good deals. So there is a marketplace called Mercari that feels very eBay-esque. I don't think they charge fees for the sellers, and you are allowed to make a bid. So there are a couple of not so interesting Black Widow sets because they're like 92 random pencils, and I am down to only needing very specific ones. And there were two different interesting Irojiten sets, and this particular lot, the seller does not have this case. This is what came wrapped. Each dictionary gets one of these sleeves, and inside the sleeve are the three books. So she confirmed that she doesn't have the outer sleeve. I'm okay with that because I want to use these pencils. That is what I want to do with all of my pencils, is give them a home, a loving home where I am going to use them and share them with the coloring group. Oh, now it's raining and sunny all at the same time. The weather is so weird here. So I made her an offer. She accepted. It came from Georgia, so I got them in this is the third day. This is Saturday. So yeah, I got them in 3 days. I'm very tickled. Here is the box. I love the box. It's Fairy Loot. I haven't even looked at what this domain is all about. It's called fairyloot.com. So I thought that was very clever. Being a gamer that I am, we use the word loot to describe the stuff that you get when you go through an adventure and do quests and things. So let's see what we have inside. It was packed more snugly than this. I actually started to unpack it and thought, oh, I better stop and do the unboxing with you guys. So there were some peanuts to hold everything in place, and the 3 books I see are in here, and there was one more wrap. Everything was wrapped one more time, and I don't even know where that went. And then the 10 individual pencils that you buy, they're sitting wrapped up in a rubber band. So let's just see. I have not used the Volume 2. I didn't feel that 30 pencils was enough for me to even make a go of seeing if I have enough blends to put together and use these on one of my daily color pages, but that is my goal, to get enough. And then I found out that I printed out today's swatch chart is from Rachel Henderson coloring.co.uk, coloring COLOURING. So thank you, Rachel, for the chart. I was able to find swatches that had them listed individually by, I guess we call it a volume. But I really wanted it in color family order, and Rachel's list is in color family order, and it does include the extra 10. They are numbered EX. I looked through the list here and I see they're EX1 through EX10 nestled throughout, and the codes that she used on this color family order, so these you can see are used more than the volume 2 that I got. So she has the codes as well as the names. And I will be swatching these on my swatch sheets that I like. But first we're just going to do some simple swatches. I usually always do this swatch and verify that it is a color family order that I like. And so let's take a peek. We already peeked at this one, and it just has this one pencil. The volume 2 that I got, we found out together that that the person who had them, they had mixed them up somehow, and they were not all in their correct books, but all of them were there. So these are all starting with D. The font is quite small. I wish it wasn't silver, and I wish it wasn't so small. I would prefer black on white. So these all appear to be D1 through D10. So that is good. I did also look closely. I zoom in now that I've had a couple of questionable experiences. Here is a sharpened yellow. So now I zoom in and actually really do a careful look at what I am buying. That's what they are there for. These are all V's in Victor. It's a vivid for V. D is deep. So let's check out the third one, and then we'll open up the 10 individuals. So what I like about this set in particular, it might be more of a mid price point, not a budget, but you can buy these individually. So I like that. These are all the P's for pale, and I am seeing that everything looks to be in order. So I want to play with these. I do not have a case, I realized. Well, technically I do have a case. So I now have 70 of these, and I have a 72 case. I am working with one of the coloring group attendees who bought the 72 set of the prangs, and I'm helping group them up in a good color order for her. And as soon as I finish that, I will free up the 72 case. But it also might be that I could end up finding a good deal at any time, because I'm actively on the hunt for the third dictionary. So if I find it, then I will be completed. I will have completed the set, and it will be too many pencils to fit in my 72 case that I have. I did buy a case for my Black Widows, which I own 90 something of them. I own half, right about half. All right, so I'm gonna look up. This one is Deep C. D4 is the code. These are a glossy pencil. They are on the thinner side, and the core is on the smaller side, but they have a nice feel to them, and they have a nice look. Hub asked just the other day when I was asking for his thoughts on possible new ways to decide which pencil sets I'm going to use in what order, and he says, do you have any white barrel? Because he knows that I have black barrel and color barrel. And I said, you know what? I did just buy my first white barrel pencils, and here they are. Okay, so Deep C is right here. Now, I should grab a clipboard, because this wood grain is an actual wood grain. It is not smooth. So I will be right back. All right, I am back. I had Deep C isolated here. Everyone says that these are a hard pencil. And right off the bat, I don't feel that they are a super hard pencil. I've also heard that these are pretty picky about the paper you put them on. I am using the Nina Bristol Vellum right now. Silver Gray EX. Yeah, we're doing the EXs. EX10 is way at the end here. Last night I went to bed fairly early. I tend to do that after I exercise during the week, and so Friday actually is the hardest day exercise-wise. We do what's called high intensity interval training. So I did that, rode the bike, did a little work in the yard. So I went to bed and played with my Black Widow. And so I'm working on getting those ready because I want to start, I want to use those and these Irojitens next week. So I am giving myself a deadline. So far these feel pretty good. They don't feel hard, they don't feel soft. They don't seem to leave any crumbs. Russet Brown 8. In fact, what's ironic about this is they feel very much like the Black Widow pencils. I spent the whole evening with them, getting them sorted and ordered, just like I will be doing with these. I have not, like I said, I don't have a case, so I have to figure out what I'm going to do with them. I am looking for EX3, which is Scouring Rush. It appears to be a green. So there it is. People in the golf cart that got stuck in the rain. So we live backed up to conservation land, which is the St. John's watershed. And yesterday the neighbor came and knocked on my door, and she says, "Do you know what's going on?" And I said, "Why?" And she says, "There's a whole bunch of sheriffs here, an ambulance, and the fire truck just pulled up." And so sure enough, I walked out. She's the first house right next to our trail entry. And sure enough, there were 5 sheriff's cars, an ambulance, and a fire truck, as well as our own courtesy patrol. We're doing yellow. And evidently, I asked the CSA courtesy patrol what had happened, and somebody went out on their bike past our fence. There are some gates to the various trails out on the watershed, and they got lost. But they had been found, so that was nice. And one of the sheriffs was taking them to their home. So I don't know any of the details, but that's just what they said. So I am glad that they're safe. And then Hub said today, this is anemone pink, that he saw over at one of the other gates, anemone pink, 2 trucks pulling stock trailers. One had a saddled horse in it, and the other one had, there's a Brahma bull and some other Brahma cattle, and evidently they were capturing him and taking him off to some other place. And he couldn't tell, Hub couldn't tell if there were more cattle in there, if it was just the bull. So that was very nice. I love that color, and that felt really good. So far, I like all of them. Sepia 9, EX9. So if you have these, let me know what your thoughts are about them. Being that I am from the oil-based pencil, the polychromos world, that's probably why these feel normal to me. I just finished doing a page, 2 images for this week with the Prismacolor, and they were, of course, very soft and very messy, just like the Holbeins are for me. And it just could be me. I'm just used to a not messy pencil, so I don't take good precautions to make sure that I don't run into trouble with them. So this is Peony Pink EX7. Yeah, if you look at the reviews on like Blick, where you can buy these as singles, people either really love them or they just don't like them at all. There doesn't seem to be an in-between. Wild Grape EX5. And the last one is Scarlet. Yep, so far so good. I will be swatching all of these. I will not keep you here any longer. I will go ahead and swatch these and come back and share with you the color palette as I have it short the 3rd dictionary series. So I will be short 30 pencils, but I will have 70. So I will be back shortly. All right, I'm back, everybody. It is the next morning. I had some issues last night, so I decided to table this second half of the video. It is supposed to be just a quick overview, and I did have to go a little bit deeper into it to come to a conclusion. So this is the color palette of the 70 that I own. I think it is a nice color palette. I do think that the colors have a lot of lights, mediums, and darks. I have a couple of gaps with this set, but not enough gaps that I don't think I can use these next week in the Small Victories coloring book, which was the purpose of this exercise. So after I checked out the color palette, I picked 5 for my tests, and that's where things got a little bit messy. I did my tests. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in closer. And then make sure we're focused. Okay, that should be good. So I picked 5 colors. I decided after the first blend that I did not like crimson. It was too brown, so I pulled it out and then encountered, which seems to be with these doing a light, a orange red and then a red. I ended up with moving cherry red over one, and I had them positioned with scarlet, because it's pinkish, the barrel is anyway. And then cherry red looks to be the darker red, but when I applied them to this paper, you can see that the color fades. So I ended up having to reverse the barrels. You can even look, if you look at the cores, the one that I have moved over that has the darker barrel actually has the lighter pigment. So I ended up, at this point, I tabled this piece of paper. I wasn't very happy with how they felt on the Bristol Vellum smooth side. It felt like they weren't getting a lot of traction, I guess. I should say. So I went ahead and pulled a bunch of sample inexpensive papers. I actually pulled 6. These are the 4 that are what I call the in-between ones, and you can see that they look okay. The Bristol Smooth is usually a telltale sign of a pencil that doesn't do well on smooth, and you can see that they all did equally well, including the smooth, so it wasn't a matter of the tooth that was the problem. In fact, I like how smooth the smooth went down. They blended nicely, and I was able to get rid of the tooth really easy. Again, I'm doing light layers at this point. I pulled out my favorite and my least favorite. I still had for my least favorite the Bristol Vellum Smooth, which is my coloring paper that I use through my printer to color with, and I liked it the least. Oh, Hub has returned, so I'm going to pause for a second. All right, I am back. Some days I think I'm just destined to not get a lot of filming done. This is the 4th time that I am trying to film this, and I keep getting interrupted. So here I am looking at the paper that I felt that I liked the least, which happens to be the paper that I color on when I do digital copies through my printer. So the notes that I have for the different things, the first thing is the Starjoy Gold. I tried to leave the crumbs on. The Starjoy Gold on both of the papers created a lot of crumbs, the most favorite and the least favorite. So that's what the C means. The hardness is H1. The Irojiten are officially the hardest pencil I own. However, they do pretty good with the pigment. You can see that the Prang, though I said are second hardest, they used to be the hardest. They don't have as much payout, which, what do you expect for a pencil that's like $6? And then the Starjoy Gold had a lot of crumbs. I think it was significantly less hard than the Prang and the Irojiten, and it had a lot deeper pigment payout. So this is on my least favorite paper. So now let's switch over to my favorite paper. So this is Canson 1557 in it. I grabbed it because it is one of the papers that the Irojitens are stated to work well on by Tombow, who is the creator of the Irojitens, and I agree. It is definitely my favorite paper. That's the double pluses, and I thought that this is the hardest still, even on this paper. Here's all the crumbs from the Starjoy Gold, very crumbs, definitely less hard, and then the Irojitens still have a good payout. In fact, on this paper, staring at them, I wrote P because I think the Irojiten is as dark as the Starjoy. And so I was very happy with how they worked on this paper. So I have confirmed they are definitely a paper-dependent pencil. They do have their place. And I get, whenever I have a pencil that I don't like, I figure, and I might have already said this before Hub came, I figure there's something that I can adjust with how I color to better accommodate the pencil, and I don't expect all of my pencils to be my favorites. So I'm going to pause now. I'm going to go get the coloring book, and I want to do a blend in the back of it with the Irojitens to just confirm that I feel I can use these next week. I'll be right back. All right, here I am. I have this blue test was Holbein, Prang, and Speer-Farben. So those were on the houses page that I did. And I have my Irojiten, and I am going to do those first. And I think I'm going to do all 3. There's a pencil. And we're going to do put I. Again, light layers. I will say that this particular orange, and it's not even this set, a lot of the sets that have this yellow-orange, it does not seem to have a big payout. The yellow does, and the orange and reds do, but this particular color, I don't know what it is, but it is not just this set. And I am trying to stick with very light layers. See how light that is? Now we're starting to get, see, I'm just continuing to go back and forth with light layers. I'll tell you, my book, it's getting beat up. It's getting so beat up, in fact. And I've not done a very good job of keeping track of the non-colored version of the image because I don't often make a copy. I make a copy and write notes, or I do some color tests, but I don't just make a copy. So I went ahead and bought another book. They're $10 right now if you are interested in this book. I think it's $10.05. And when I bought this one that's been colored in, I think I paid $12, maybe $12.75. So there's the base layer. Let's see if we can start getting some color down. The yellow is going down pretty good. Let's see how this silly yellow-orange is going to do this. That's not bad. Tooth is filling in nicely. And that tooth is all filled in. I just have to take my time. This is not a speedy pencil at all. And accepting the fact that it is not going to be a fast to color with pencil has helped me a lot today. And it took me overnight wanting to be challenged and dig into them and said, nope, I'm going to wait till the morning to do my final analysis. I actually had the third image for the weekly color that I needed to finish, and that actually took me like 3 hours last night, taking my time, sitting in my recliner, watching a show. So they feel nice. They do not feel like they want to be rushed. There isn't a bunch of crumbs. I feel like there's a little bit of a line here, and I can dig in there and blend it out. See that? That line is gone. So I like that. All right, so those felt good, and that was my test. I already know I can color with the Prangs and the Starjoy Golds because I have used them twice in this book with success. And we're going to just see how these feel. See, to me, the Prang yellow-orange to the orange is a huge difference. The pigment payout varies wildly between that yellow-orange and this orange. I did not feel the Irojiten had a huge difference in the payout. I didn't see the results till after I put down a bunch of light layers. Yeah, this is definitely a softer pencil than the Irojiten. They are the new hardest pencil I own, having dethroned the Prangs officially. See, that was nice. Getting a little bit of crumbs here. Yeah, see, I have to put a lot less work into even the Prangs, even though they are limited in what they will do. Very nice. More pigment with the Irojiten for sure. And then finally the Starjoy Gold. And I'm going to call this done and go right into my weekly color while I'm processing and getting this loaded up. But I really needed to find out if I could use the Irojitens next week, and I think it's going to be fine. See, I'm getting crumbs already. Even the... Oh, that actually is accurate. Strawberry is the lighter red, and Ladybug is the darker red. Good for Starjoy Gold for actually giving me barrels with the two reds correct. Now I'm using light layers on everything. Well, I'm feeling much better about the pencils and where they fit in my coloring world. Now I just need a case. So I'm working on finding a case. I have a roll that has two sections, 260 sections, and I was going to see if I could take out and whatever was in one of the 60s to put these, but that I really need 70, and it has a wide band, but it'll only hold like 4 pencils in it. So I have officially taken my Crayola 50 out of that wrap, and they're in a cheap little bag because I have the 100s set up in a case, and I will never use these. I won't even use the Crayolas in my book, in the coloring book, because it is too frustrating for me. The only pencil. Someday I might just bring them out and make myself overcome my frustration with them. All right. Yep. It's a go for the Irojiten. There's what they look like. They don't look in this very smooth paper. They're not quite as pigmented as Starjoy. They had no crumbs. Prang has a few crumbs. Starjoy has some crumbs. So there you go. That is the end of my first look at the Irojitens. I own again 70 of the 100. And I think they are going to be a go for coloring in the Small Victories. Everybody take care. I will see you very soon in the weekly color. And do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and consider subscribing. And I'll see you soon.